Hi, my name is Kassidy Hudson, and this is my video essay for my TEP application, where I will be talking about how I think that the Ukraine war should be something that students are learning about in their social studies classes right now. So I picked this topic because it's been relevant for almost a decade, and it's still relevant now because it's also happening at this very moment as well as in the past. So it all started with Russia's initial attack and invasion on the eastern border of Ukraine. And then those initial invasions led to sanctions on Russia by the US and its allies by restricting trade and involvement in foreign affairs. The reason for these invasions is because of the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, where then in 2000 Putin came to power, and then he's kind of made it his career mission to restore world status to Russia. So instead of boosting up Russia's economy and morale and everything like that, he decided that he's going to take the route of bringing all the other countries down and all past territories of the Soviet Union. He's bringing them down instead of building Russia up to rise back into world power. This war is mentioned in history classes already, as well as in government classes as examples, and with the fall of the Soviet Union and all like those everything that's mentioned in previous history classes. So with this, you can talk about the politics involved between Russia and Ukraine, and then the relationship with the US and how they're involved and what they're doing. So then the correlation between the event and the curriculum would be that this event is already similar to other events throughout history where a world power has fallen, and then now they're trying to regain power later on, decades later. So an event similar to this would be World War I and World War II with Hitler and Germany, where they were a world power and they had fallen, and then Hitler was attempting to rebuild it back up, and that was kind of the cause of World War II. So it's an event very similar and very easy to correlate between. Then the war being stemmed from the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, Russia's main goal is to restore influence on former territories like Ukraine. They're most interested in Ukraine because it's the biggest and it's the one that's gaining popularity with democracy, like specifically Western democracy. So Russia's afraid that the prosperous democracy in Ukraine would pose a threat to Putin's ruling in Russia. So he's worried that specifically the people in Russia are going to see how Ukraine is succeeding with their democracy and want that too, and then therefore causing Putin to be overthrown with his autocratic rule. Students would learn about the fall of the Soviet Union already in their history classes, so it'd just be a continuation of the aftermath of the fall of the Soviet Union. Students need to learn about it because of it's happening in today's world, and it's directly connected to past events, and a continuation of that. So in the future, it will have been very recent, just like how students were learning about the falling of the Twin Towers and the terrorist attacks very shortly after they happened in 2001. The events that are happening between the two countries are also an example of modern warfare, where typically we learn about warfare regarding what the U.S. has done and how the U.S. is doing things and how they're being impacted and what they're doing to impact the event. Whereas with the Ukrainian war, they'd be learning about the modern warfare between the two countries, where the U.S. is not affiliated at all besides sending in support and money rather than having troops. So this was why I think that the Ukrainian war should definitely be a topic in high school or just social studies curriculum in general. And I think it's going to be a very important topic of the future.